My beer hasn't gone.
That's okay. I want to talk about it.
That was poorly poured. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming back to Real Estate Makes Us Drink. We appreciate you being here. Brian Quinlan from Daniels Real Estate.
Brad Nickham, Nest Mortgage Group.
My cohort, my partner in crime, my podcast buddy, my lender buddy. That's actually what I refer to you as.
We commit no crimes.
No. When I talk to people, it's my lender buddy, Brad.
And I say my realtor guy.
There you go. That's fantastic. So thanks for being here. We appreciate you coming back to watch the show. We're up at 60-plus subscribers right now, Brad.
I think at least 30 of those are because of the hat.
Could be.
Yeah, I think so.
Might be because of the giveaways.
Could be, yeah. In fact, I'm going to say in this show, there is going to be a change.
What?
At some point.
Dude.
And it's going to be specific.
Okay.
You're going to have to pay attention, and you have to watch the whole show. But something's going to change, and it is going to add my cartoon character to a place that it's not at right now. Okay. So if you look at our stage.
So not on the shot glass.
Not on the shot glass.
Okay.
Not in that glass of chocolate milk that just got out of the blender. Wow.
Do you think I'm drinking chocolate milk?
If that was in the toilet, I'd be like, you're dehydrated.
Right. I will just say this is poorly poured.
Yeah, he poured it like this.
You think I didn't know what I was doing, but you know what? Since we're on that topic, here's what I'm drinking today, my friend.
What is it?
So you saw my Instagram story. And
I did, yeah.
I was out shopping for beers.
I did. Your story?
Yep,
go to the tequila aisle.
Tequila was all out, oddly enough, at Total Wine. From Bier Brewery, which I have hit up before, but this is red rum.
Huh.
What's red rum from?
Is that like Ron Jeremy rum?
No, it's from The Shining, the movie, Red Rum. Red Rum.
Never seen The Shining.
Holy balls.
I did. I don't know that those are holy.
It's even got the door and the word red rum written on it from the movie The Shining. What the hell?
I didn't like scary movies. Isn't it Jack Nicholson? Jack Nicklaus?
Is.
Wait, is it the golfer or the actor?
Nicholson. No, okay. Nicholas is the golfer. Nicholson is the actor.
Sorry.
I don't like scary movies either. The Shining, to me, falls in the category of suspense, not horror.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to make a commitment like I did to start running every day. I made a commitment. You're supposed to hold me. Wait. That's like a science project.
Easy.
I've seen that on The Big Bang Theory one time. Or Ellen.
We are okay.
If we start getting hit by ping pong balls, I'm out of here.
Anyway, getting back to it.
Is that in Noblesville?
This is an Irish red beverage. And where is...
I believe there's one of those in Noblesville.
Bier Brewery is...
And my daughter-in-law...
I can't... The problem is I can't
friggin'
read this. I do.
Need glasses.
Oh, boy.
Here, I got my glasses.
Broad Ripple. There we go.
Okay, yeah, but they have one in Noblesville.
Okay.
And it has a
Broad Ripple Brewing Company.
In Noblesville, it's a phenomenal facility, great lighting outside. And Pam, my daughter-in-law, has done yoga classes there on Sunday. And we went up and did a painting class on Mother's Day there.
It's adorable.
And I drank a gluten-free beer.
Okay.
Which kind of tastes like, let's say you grabbed a mouthful of napkins and one coffee bean and then a whole bunch of grass.
That sounds delightful.
Oh, it's delightful.
All right, so
I did find out how they make gluten-free beer. Do you know how they do it?
Take out all the good stuff?
No, it's only made in the wintertime.
Because?
Well, what they do is they lay these mats out at Walmart, and then as the people walk into the store, when they get sopped enough, they squeeze it out into bottles, and that's gluten-free beer. All right. If we had the Mosquito Authority people, that fly would have been in the bar.
I do have to throw this out there.
Do it. I got a mitt.
Okay, great. So my wife, nope, that's false. My daughter is a bartender.
Yes.
Formerly at Back Nine. Now she's living out in Vegas.
Front Nine.
Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe it's the 19th hole. I don't know. Either way, her friend at Back Nine has, on more than one occasion, drank, and I forget what it's called, but it's like the pad that sits at the bar where they pour the drinks and whatever overflows.
One of those things.
One of the yes, that thing. So whatever winds up in this contraption, they pour it into a glass and he drinks it.
I think it's called a kamikaze suicide.
Well, that sounds delightful.
And you hold it up.
Yep, exactly. And on more than one occasion, Jacob has drank that.
Yep.
That sounds disgusting.
When your daughter has their first child.
No, she's not the one drinking it.
Yeah, but he did.
But that's not the boyfriend, so it's okay. It's their friend, Jacob.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking your grandkid's gonna have 3 arms.
He very well might, or at least a lazy eye.
And thanks, Rockstar.
Thank you,
Remember,
Rockstar
you can
Energy.
send me products to my house.
We'll have to tag them, of course. So I've got a Irish Red, and you have a clear liquid that I promise you is not water, as if I had to convince you. Mesquila made me do it.
Yep. I've got a little Santo.
Little Santo.
Santo Mesquila.
Is that what you're drinking?
That's what I'm drinking. Sammy
Okay.
Hagar and Guy Fieri's blend of a blue agave tequila and a mezcal.
Well,
Cheers.
cheers to you all.
Don't get it on your lips.
Tastes like chocolate milk.
It tastes like tequila and mezcal.
Of course it does.
It's very good. It's kind of smoky. It's yum, 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 yum.
So knowing that I edit the podcast,
Yes, you do.
I also publish / distribute,
He
however you
delivers.
want to say. I put it onto YouTube.
He's our publishing company. He's our editing company.
Today's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to
Happy
you, my
Father's Day
friend.
to you, too. And if I'm not mistaken, this is probably going to be your first one where your little girl is not going to come visit.
And the boy.
He's not
He's
visiting.
staying in Cincinnati. No, he's got to work.
So
This is my first non-kid-oriented Father's Day.
I'm going to lay something out for you.
Okay, throw it out there.
We are going to hang out at the pool.
Oh, okay.
I think it's supposed to be 109. The wind turbines.
Vegas.
They're not helping yet, but
That's in Vegas.
we'll talk about it in a future episode.
Right?
And we're going to grill, and we're going to have some drinks. We
Okay.
got some fancy beers in there.
Will your
We got a
kids be
keg.
here?
My kids are coming over.
Okay, well, maybe I'll...
2 of my 3. Logan, he won't be here.
a
He's
Jason celebration for me.
it'll
perhaps
be,
I'll
yeah,
be
it'll be
here.
father adjacent.
Okay.
But you know what? My kids will treat you like a dad,
I'm sure they would.
which means you'll have to get your own beers and
Great.
do your own stuff, and you'll probably have to cook all the food.
Huh.
So we're going to have probably some burgers, and I feel like you might be a hot dog guy. Are you a hot
Both.
dog guy?
And they're both, really.
Yep. I always say, it's not 4th of July until the wieners come out. I eat mine like this.
So, happy Father's Day
Happy Father's
to all
Day
of
to all
you.
the
And I do know that of the followers that I know from our podcast, they're all dads. So, happy Father's Day to you all out
Here's
there.
the thing. I don't know that we should honor the father.
Because,
It's a couple minutes of fun.
it's funny. As I'm looking at ads for things coming up on Father's Day, on Mother's Day, if you go to a golf course, the mother golfs for free.
Right?
They don't offer that on Father's Day.
Of course they don't.
You go to my favorite restaurant, Bubba's, on Mother's Day, she eats for free. You don't get that on Father's Day.
No, you-
What the heck?
But it's because mainly we didn't have to push a life through our vagina.
Well, that is true, and I thank God for that.
Yeah, because as men, we're kind of babies.
Oh, undoubtedly. I
Right.
totally am. I'll throw
So-
myself under the bus.
Yeah, so I was thinking, let's say I had to shove a child through an orifice, I would die. Like I am such a
It's
baby
over.
when it comes to
That's
that.
it.
It's like, nope, you're not coming into the world. So really, Father's Day should be honored with some socks and a tie. Because
Father's Day should still honor the mothers because
we
they're
should,
the ones
we should
doing
buy the
work.
mom something.
I'll just throw a shout out to my dad down in Florida. Happy Father's Day to you.
That's
There you
pretty
go.
awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So today we're actually going to talk about
Real estate?
some of the stuff that's happening in the market. There's been a couple market movers. We've had the Fed talk this week. We had a CPI report this week. The stock market today closed down,
I read an article that it was anticipated to be up.
but the NASDAQ broke a record today.
High or low?
high.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting to see the Nasdaq drop below 38, and the Dow drop below 38, and the Nasdaq close above 17.7. Of course, today is Thursday.
It is,
and this is going to be released on a Sunday, so it's a little bit of a delay, but pretty interesting to see one segment of our market down and another segment of our market up, and kind of a weird twist is whenever the markets would have a good day, the bond market would have a bad day.
Okay.
That's like a notorious thing. You would look at the stock market and go, "Oh, it's up," and the bond market would be down, and opposite, right? So when the stock market's usually having a good day, interest rates are having a bad day, and vice versa, because money shifts in the way they invest the money, and that moves the bond market, the stock market, and really for about the last year, maybe 2 years, kind of started during COVID, the bond market will follow the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ is having a great day, the bond market is going down. So it's like more money is transferring from the bond market to the NASDAQ and not paying as much attention to the Dow. So my question, and it could be kind of neat, we'll put this out there maybe in 15 years or 100 years when this is at the Smithsonian and they're watching it.
There's a really good chance we're ending up there.
I believe so, yeah.
Do you know someone named Smithsonian?
I don't know. I just know that it's a giant museum in London. What do you think the chances of the NASDAQ actually exceeding the Dow?
I can't answer that question because I don't know like the history of it. Like, is that doesn't happen?
The Dow's been at 40,000.
Yeah, it's
the
been super high.
And the Nasdaq's been at 15. And when the Dow was at 20,000, the Nasdaq was at 6.
Oh wow!
Right. So the Nasdaq is a lot of tech companies.
Okay.
So right now, I think a lot of that is driving with what's happening with AI, which eventually will replace us, and our podcast will just be a computer generating.
No, false.
Okay, good.
We promise AI will not replace Real Estate Makes Us Drink.
But we will use it to our advantage.
I might replace Brad, but we will not be replaced.
I mean, so Apple's on a run right now because they've announced, this big use of AI and,
soon to come. That's the funny part. Like everyone's throwing that
but they throw a release date out for everything.
Yeah.
And their promotion was awesome. I'm excited about it.
Definitely awesome.
And if you've noticed over the last few months, because I know you switched over from the Stagecoach to an automobile
That was almost a year ago, actually, yeah.
And so do you like it better?
I do. Okay. I thought you were going to say, do you like it? Because you added the word better. Yes, I like it. My Apple phone, which meshes seamlessly with my Mac that I wound up buying.
And that works so good.
That is very nice.
Butter.
Undoubtedly. That is great. I edit this. I say the word undoubtedly a lot. So
you like that word? That's a good word. I got to come up
with a new one. Undoubtedly and interesting.
Yeah, can you do indubitably?
Indubitably? Yes. But I'm not sure how I work that one in there.
Indubitably.
So anyways, my iPhone and my Mac work very well together.
Yes.
I never had a problem with my Google phone, and I also have a Chromebook at my house.
Right.
So those work very well together.
Yep.
But I honestly can't say that I like necessarily one over the other.
Okay.
Both my kids have Apple phones. My parents have Apple phones.
We can FaceTime now.
Exactly. So the communication with them is very simple.
Let's say your wife goes on a cruise with an Apple phone.
Which she will not. She absolutely refuses Apple.
This tells me that deep down inside, she doesn't love you.
That's probably true. Sorry, Stephanie. It's been a good run.
If she was on that boat out there in the middle of the Caribbean,
where she will be next week without me,
the Indian Sea or the Mediterranean,
we'll call it the Atlantic,
wherever she was going. If she had an Apple phone, she could go onto Wi-Fi and FaceTime you.
She refuses to get an iPhone,
and I know why.
Because
the hat.
It's not the hat. The hat's great. She loves the hat.
She loves that. Okay.
Especially when it's
she just hates
when it's just the hat and nothing else. She's on board, baby.
Look at that.
No,
Hey, Brian, can you put them heels on in that hat?
No, I said nothing else. She is deep rooted in the history of education.
She hates Steve Jobs.
Where the Google world did not mix with the Apple world,
They do now, but they didn't.
It mixes significantly well, right? But there was a time where you couldn't do all of the Google Docs, Google Google Excel.
You always could if you knew how to.
Okay, well, either way, it did not transfer very well.
It was harder.
And so she is like very anti because everything in her world is Google.
You know, I understand that because my world has been a PC for all the loan origination software and then a Mac because everything is... Here's my problem. A Mac works like Microsoft 95.
Okay.
Right, so remember how it made sense, and then Microsoft 10 came out, and it became all these panels and boxes, and I was like, I didn't get it because I wasn't a 13-year-old girl. That's the problem. So then I got my first Mac, and I was like, wow, this is like Windows 98.
Hey!
Like, this stuff's where it's supposed to be. But I'd have to go use a PC for work.
Yeah.
And the thing that I noticed probably the most is 7 years, my Mac never gave me a blue screen. And almost every day at some point, I was doing Control-Alt-Delete.
Oh, yeah.
And a Mac doesn't have Control-Alt.
No, it does not.
Not even there. You know why? Don't need it. Right? It doesn't crash.
Okay.
But today, I don't know how this became an Apple episode.
I have no idea. So
we're going to talk about real estate.
CPI and the report.
So CPI actually surprised everybody. It came in a little bit lower than expected. And maybe finally we're starting to see the economy slow down and inflation actually come down a little bit.
Hey,
and
all right.
the BS jobs report, it's
I don't think that's what they call it.
The BLS jobs report.
Yeah, BS jobs. Got it.
So the jobs report did come in a little stronger.
Saw that.
But you know, if you've seen what the jobs that are being created, they're government jobs.
Well, it's also funny that the jobs report came in stronger than expected, but unemployment was up. Like, interesting.
Well, maybe that tells you who's in charge of that.
Yeah.
Like there's someone out there that's like pulling the strings.
Always is.
Right, yeah. So the BS jobs report came out showing, really the biggest place of growth in jobs is in government and healthcare, which is kind of government.
Yeah.
Right? So we're creating jobs that are utilizing tax dollars to create revenue. That's going to run out eventually. But so you're right. We have seen the unemployment rate go up a little bit. That's what we've been begging for, to see rates come down. And then the CPI report was good. Fed Chairman Powell really talked about how things are going kind of the direction that they really want them to go.
Well, that's a good thing.
He spoke of no increases in the Fed fund rate, which, a few CPI reports, that was actually a possibility.
Okay, that's a good thing.
We've actually seen the 10-year Treasury drop below 4.2, kind of tick back up a little bit today. When you look at the stock market, or you look at the NASDAQ, or you watch the 10-year Treasury, they don't go like this.
No.
None of them do. They go like this, right? So what you do is you look at what's our pattern. Our pattern is moving up over a period, or our pattern is moving down over a period.
I feel like this is when I taught graphs in 6th grade, recognizing trends.
Do you know what a Fibonacci level is?
I understand Fibonacci from the math world, but in terms of Fibonacci level, no.
So Fibonacci's from the math world.
Definitely.
And there's a Fibonacci level, right? So when things grow and you get to a Fibonacci level in the market, that could be a ceiling.
Okay.
But if you bust that level, if you go above it, now this Fibonacci level becomes a floor.
Okay.
And your next Fibonacci level becomes a ceiling.
Okay.
But
so where are we at?
Well, those also go with 25-day moving averages, 50-day moving averages, 100-day moving averages, 200-day moving averages. So if you're watching a stock, okay, and you're going to buy a stock, and your stock has just busted above a 200-day moving average, and it's busted above the highest Fibonacci level they could be at, chances are that stock's probably going to start to come down.
Yep.
Now, it could continue to go. NVIDIA stock has blown us all away. I bought NVIDIA stock at $29 a share
Oh, wow.
in 2019.
Nice.
We seen it get to $200 in 2020. I bought in again at $400 in October of 2023.
Dude, it was just 1,200.
Yeah, we're over 1,200. Now we did a 10-for-1 split. We're over 125 today. And everybody's like, it's above this average. It's above that average. It's also the most leading AI stock out there.
Yep.
So I'm buying more tomorrow because it's not going anywhere. So, but if you were buying,
AI is kind of a big thing.
it's a huge thing, and they're the best at it.
Yeah.
But also don't leave out AI, right? Which is another stock to buy. Don't leave out Google. Don't leave out Microsoft.
Definitely.
And Apple just busted back over 200. It's at its highest level because of their announcement.
Nice.
And they're going to partner with ChatGPT, which is the AI.
Who is
Walmart.
partnered with Microsoft? How about that?
Microsoft has sorta. They like splits.
At the beginning, they
They
were.
went, came back, but
Okay.
still, they've developed their own. Google's developing their own. But it's all about the chip that they have to buy, NVIDIA. And there's a whole group of stocks in there that I kind of shifted my thinking in my investment portfolio to go a little more heavy into AI.
Yep. Good
Because
idea.
it's where it's going. But
Fred, by AI.
the bond market, the treasury market is the same. You know, in June 1st, the Fed made an announcement back in May that they were going to start to decrease their quantitative tightening. They were going to start to purchase treasuries. Right? And that's the first time so quantitative tightening is selling off the bonds that they purchased, all the
Okay.
mortgage-backed securities that they purchased. And they were selling them off at like, I think it's, don't hold me to this, but it's like $85 billion a week. Right? And they've decided not to sell off and take the portion they're not selling anymore and purchase treasuries. And I think I don't even want to say a number, but it's a huge number of treasuries. At the same time, the genius Janet Yellen,
Sure. I don't know
who's
who
our
that is.
Treasury Secretary,
Okay.
used to be the Fed chairman. She's the one that told us, don't worry about inflation. This is all transitory. This will go away.
Huh.
She made a lot of bad decisions as a Fed chairman as well. Thanks, Janet. So Janet Yellen also said, hey, look, we're going to start repurchasing treasuries. And where that's important is interest rates are all based on what's going on in the bond market and the treasury market. All mortgages become a bond. So if now we're going to start buying those treasuries, it's supply and demand. If there's a huge supply of treasuries, the yields are up. Right? Because you don't want to buy a treasury if it's not going to pay you anything.
Right?
So if the yields are up and mortgages all go on those, mortgage rates have to be creating a yield that allows you to make a profit on what you're doing. So that drives mortgage rates up. So now that the Fed has started purchasing treasuries in June, and the United States government is now repurchasing treasuries and going to do a big issue because we have this huge deficit that we got to raise money for. Because we, as Americans, we love to spend money. Not just in the government, but people too. The average
That's the problem with inflation. We keep spending money.
average car payment in the United States today, you know what it is?
Like $750?
$1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Average new car payment in the United States. Average house payment in the United States today.
28.
$2,600. Up 40% from 3 years ago.
Wow. Dang.
So you've got this increase in housing, increase in payments. Somebody calls me and goes, I want to buy a $75,000 house. And I'm like, that's a pickup truck. You should get a dually.
Right?
So all of that said, I think we're going to see interest rates kind of level. I know I'm boring you right now.
No.
I've seen the yawn.
It's been a long day.
He yawned on me. No, I think we're going to see interest rates kind of level.
I feel like they kind of have
They
been.
really have. Yeah, we've been in the mid sevens to low sevens, kind of flat for a while. And maybe, gosh, I don't want to jinx this. I don't even know if I want to say it. I'm not going to. Nope. Not
Never
gonna say
mind.
it. Nope. Never mind.
Never mind. You know
Interest
what?
rates-
After all that bullshit, shots.
Interest rates are going to stay high.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so listen. I'm going to introduce Brian to something here that's amazing. This is called Cascaween Tahuna Blanco.
And I've had Cascaween before,
You have.
but not this one.
No, the Tahuna Blanco is it's really a one of a kind. And you're not going to do it as a shot. You're going to have to kind of taste it.
Good to know.
This is a Tahuna smashed agave.
So
Roasted.
in the world of tequila, is this reposado?
No,
is
it's a
this
Blanco. It's a Blanco. So no aged. A reposado is aged for 6 months.
I
and
apologize.
Añejo is raised.
I don't know.
Aged
And we've done many episodes.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, and I
No,
should know
I'm trying
more.
to teach you about tequila, but you've never been. You don't necessarily like it.
True. So
And I'm
maybe I
trying
just don't care.
so hard.
But I like beer, and I don't really care.
But I gave you a tequila today that you tasted before the show, and you
Uh-huh.
went, that was actually okay.
It was sweet, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
So this one, no.
No, he says.
give me that glass.
Oh, that's right.
Give
We're
me
supposed
that.
to do this glass. Never mind.
Because we're gonna do. So this glass is made for you to be able to swirl that around like
that's
wine,
exciting.
right? Yep. And you want to try to smell, which I realize we've talked about it already. He was like, we should do the show at a neutral place. Well, like your palate. What was the joke I made over the weekend?
I don't know, but it had to do with my taste pals.
Yeah, it's just
Not
taste
buds.
pals. Taste
Taste
pals. No
pals.
buds. So this tequila to me personally is one of the best tequilas I've ever had.
Well, it smells like all the other tequilas I've had.
It does have an agave smell, but I do bring you agave robust tequilas, mostly additive free,
Great.
old school made.
Old school. All right.
But this one right here
Is it like wine if I look through it?
Actually, the legs on this
Oh,
tequila.
Jesus, there are legs.
Yeah, there actually is. Yeah, if you put it in a
gosh.
glass where you could see the legs on it.
problem.
See it? Look at
No.
that. That's
Let's-
pretty freaking phenomenal.
I got nothing.
But it's about the oil. It's
Oil.
The oils of
All right.
the agave.
Yeah, sure.
So let's do a taste, right?
Well, cheers to you all. All right. Well, tastes like other tequilas, Brad.
But does it taste different than some of the others?
See, now you're putting me on the spot.
I am.
Can't,
So
I can't describe the different, like, a little more. When I say peppery, I'm not sure that's the right way to
no,
describe it.
that's a good word to use. There's a lot of peppery on the top of it.
There we go.
The finish has a little more citrus to it.
I sadly don't notice
Dude,
that.
drink two.
I'm paying attention to the citrus. This is exciting.
This has got to
right
be
here.
great TV.
Fred, you're welcome, because I know how much Fred loves
hates
tequila.
this shit. But how good was that? Is that one of the better tequilas
You know what?
you've tasted?
I appreciate an alcohol that doesn't burn going down.
Burn you on fire.
And that is 100% not burning going down.
Right.
So I can appreciate, I have appreciation for that.
Now, here's the key to that one. That's an almost 90 proof tequila, where most tequila is only 80 proof.
Okay.
So
That's because generally the higher the proof for me, the more it burns.
Yeah, even if you grab like a cask strength bourbon, it's always like, whoa.
Yeah, right. Like, oh.
Right. We both did the same sound.
No fire over here.
But we sound like we're the singers of Godsmack. Down with the sickness. No, it's not, tequila, they always say it's not smooth. It's supposed to have a burn, right? But the great Blancos like this are just, this is gold. And if you can find this tequila, if you find this somewhere and you're like thinking you want to get into tequila, it's normally about $100 bottle. It's very hard to find. I found it in Nashville at the Total Wine.
Total.
And they'll have it at Total Wine every once in a while. It's just a phenomenal tequila. I mean,
I'm looking at that bottle thinking, I totally understand how teenage kids drink that and then refill it with water because it looks like water.
But honestly, look at how pretty that label is. It's got the agaves on it.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's a beautiful bottle. It's a
just
beautiful label.
It's not a beautiful bottle.
It's like vodka. Looks just like water.
Yeah?
but it's not water. It's Mexican water.
Okay. Exciting.
So here's the thing. We're going to head down to, my wife and I are heading down August 8th to, we're going to fly into Guadalajara. And the hotel we're staying at has a shuttle from the airport to the little town of Tequila. And we're going to stay.
The town of Tequila?
The town of Tequila, which is where tequila's from.
Well, how about that?
So we're going to go into the town of Tequila. We're staying at a place called El Tequiliano. It's up there.
Yeah.
So we're staying at Casa Salas.
I do see it.
At El Tequiliano. We're going to go to the Fortaleza.
Yeah.
And we're
going to bring home bottles and bottles. Whatever they will allow you.
We can bring back 5 liters each.
Oh, my gosh.
And I found these things on Amazon where you blow them up. And then it protects the bottle so you can put it in your carry-on. Oh, yeah.
You're bringing a separate bag just for that?
I am. I'm actually bringing a separate bag just for tequila. So we're going to Fortaleza, El Tequiliano. We're going to go to a place called Rete. And then we're taking an Uber, because those are in Mexico as well. And we're driving down this little town where they make Cascahuín, Siembra Azul, Tirsa Leon, and probably pick a couple bottles up there too. But when we bring those home...
Wait. You going to bring 5 liters of anything per person, or like 5 liters from this group, 5 liters from that group? How's that work?
5 liters total.
Oh, shit.
I know, it sucks. So what's going to happen is Tony and I are probably going to have another trip scheduled.
Okay.
To go to the Highlands to get a whole nother group of tequilas to bring home. But that's my nerd thing. You know, I love mortgages, my buddy Brian, and...
Tequila.
I love playing guitar, too.
There's a good chance that tequila is second on the list compared to me, and that's okay.
I disagree. Brian, if you weren't here, I wouldn't have anybody to drink tequila with and make them taste these crazy tastes.
There you go. Every time I drink this, Fred, you don't like tequila. This is for you, buddy.
Fred copped a pretty good buzz here at the house and drank some tequila a couple weeks ago.
You know, Fred...
And I think he may be coming over Father's Day.
Fred was the winner of our Tony's Steakhouse.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
And I did mail it to him, so
hopefully you got it, Fred.
Received that by now. I wound up buying gift cards for my 2 friends.
First and second, or second and third?
Who are the other people? So Rob and KJ also got a $50 gift card to Tony's, which
Please
gets
enjoy
them like a baked potato.
Yes. Thanks for coming in. Would you like the tea?
That's fine. It's all good.
No, actually, you can get a great steak for $50 there. You just have to share it and not have a salad.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's all great. It was awesome.
I'm glad that you did. All right, so I talked a little bit about the mortgage world. You know, rates really haven't changed a lot, but there's some future maybe in it. But I know that housing prices have really changed over the last couple of years in Indianapolis. And our market here, unlike the Florida market, which is really kind of... The people aren't losing money. It's not like a deflated market, but it really has changed. But tell us what's going on right here in the good old state of Indiana.
So I have this article from Axios. The title says, Indianapolis homes are getting more expensive.
I see it.
And I feel horrible. And I've kind of said this multiple times on the show. I feel like my sweet spot is first-time homebuyers.
I'm with you. We've talked about it.
Yes. Going back to me being a teacher and teaching people how to buy homes. And I actually right now have some first-time homebuyers who are super cool. And I feel like that's my jam. And I see an article like this that homes are getting more expensive. And I'm like, God, that sucks. And it just continues to suck. And as we have talked about multiple times, it's not like prices are going to come down.
No, they don't.
Right. I was in a house last week. I did an open house. A 3-bedroom house on a slab. Had a fenced-in backyard in a nice neighborhood in a popular township on the southeast side of town. Priced at $325,000. 1,600 square feet. And I'm like, this is a great first-time homebuyer's house. But to think that most first-time home buyers are going to be able to afford $325,000, and I will say the price then dropped to $315,000, but even there,
unaffordable.
Yeah, it's like, gosh, the first-time home buyers have such a hard time. According to this article, the prices in Indianapolis have gone up 8% since last year, which is higher than the national average, but even the national average is 6%.
I seen a thing from 2007 or 8, or maybe after that. It's like 300%.
Yes.
Did you see that same article?
Actually, this, let me find it here. So the FHFA, tell me what that is.
FIFA.
Okay. Which stands for?
They're in charge of soccer.
Thank you. That's false. That's FIFA.
They're just as corrupt.
Okay, good. So FHFA analysis, and I'm reading this directly, found that Indianapolis home prices are up a staggering 248% since the first quarter of 1991. You know what happened in 1991? I graduated high school.
Holy shit, I'm that much older than you?
Yes, you are. So in the last
popping out
33
kids in 91.
33 years, 248% increase in home prices. That's amazing.
So here's my question. What percentage of income increases have we seen since then?
Oh, I don't know that answer.
It's not 200%.
Okay. No, you are correct.
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer, but definitely
I don't know the number, but
incomes have not kept up with that, of course.
and really the incomes kept up until about 2019. But after 2009, that last sip was good, wasn't it?
I feel I still have one final
That was
sip.
good, though, wasn't
I
it?
look
You're
forward
starting to like it, aren't
It's
you?
better than it was the first sip.
That's right. So I have so many clients that I have today that are first-time home buyers, single.
Oh, okay.
I qualify them for a $5,000 grant because they make $40,000 a year, and it's like nothing they can.
Ugh, so
Like
hard.
we can help you find a house like in Iowa, but I don't know. Iowa may be expensive too.
You know what? You know what you're going to help them find is a house that needs a lot of work.
Yeah, and usually they're in a program that doesn't allow.
They don't
them
have the
to
money
do a
for
lot
it.
of work.
Yeah.
And I'm from a small town, and
Like John Cougar Melon Balls.
John Hoosier Melon Ball.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's from Seymour. Seymour is the place where the guy wrote the book.
Final sip.
He wrote the book From Behind the Bleachers by Seymour.
Was
Butts.
he sitting?
By Seymour. Butts. Do you know that one?
I don't.
Do you know Tracks in the Sand?
Ah, that was better at the end.
You're starting to like tequila.
Ooh, I'm feeling it. Anyways, I distracted you.
Tracks in the Sand.
Prior to that?
Seymour Butts.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote the book From Behind the Bleachers
Uh-huh.
by Seymour Butts.
Yeah.
Tracks in the Sand. Who wrote
Uh-huh.
that one?
I don't.
Peter Dragon.
I don't. You say dumb things.
Some of those great books. Those are great books I grew up with. So, small towns: Wabash, Tipton, Shelbyville. I used to say Greenfield, but Greenfield's now Indianapolis,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, for
so
real.
Newcastle.
I feel like Greenfield has become what Greenwood used to be because Greenwood has grown.
I had somebody say they were talking about Monrovia, and they said that's the last growth outside of Indianapolis. And I'm like, no, Monrovia is like 18 miles out of the city, and Greenfield, Hancock County, we're the fastest growing county right now in Indianapolis.
I did not know that.
Indianapolis area. The growth out here is phenomenal, and it's because we're only 10 miles from 465. If you've ever driven to a closing in Avon,
I have. Awful.
oh gosh,
Absolutely sucks.
man, I would rather
Sorry, Avon, but it sucks.
no, I'd rather take off my shirt and be whipped and then covered with salt water than drive out there.
It's harsh.
It's harsh. So, although for some reason I think there's someone in Greenwood that said, let's make it so people can drive to the south side.
Good luck driving down 135 in the evening.
Or 465 right now.
Oh, well, there is that, but that's going to open up next week.
Man, my wife and I left in the motorhome the other day. I drove down 70 and then sat for 30 minutes at Shadeland.
No.
I got off at Shadeland, motorhome driving. Okay, so listen, I got off at Shadeland. I took Shadeland South. I got on Brook School Road. I went to Franklin Road, and I took Franklin Road to Whiteland.
Oh.
And that cut 45 minutes off my GPS
Wow.
to go through the city.
Dude, that sucks.
Oh, it's horrible. Horrible.
I mean, by the time this airs on Sunday night, it's going to open by the end of the week.
But the other way is going to close.
Eventually.
And they also, on the news today, they were talking about closings on the north side all this weekend. And the north side is already bad.
Oh, for sure. Always.
Oh, my gosh.
You like to talk about the north side like it's cool. It's not.
No, Greenwood traffic always is bad. Our north side
That
interstate
is
is bad.
bullshit.
When I
Greenwood
get
is
to Greenwood,
way
I
better.
park my car and get out and just walk to where I'm going. Why? Okay, here's a question. Non-real estate related.
As if this isn't.
Why do Greenwood people not know how to operate a roundabout?
Oh, well, maybe just because we're not as used to them. They're becoming much more common.
Do you know what yield means?
I do.
What?
I know how to drive.
It does not mean stop.
Well, it does if there's like 4 cars coming that have already
but in
started.
Greenwood, there's like, I think someone's going to get in their car soon. There's a lot of honking when I go to Greenwood.
Okay.
Hey, thumbs up if you like roundabouts, or thumbs down if you don't.
So, Brett, I have another article.
I knew you had a few, and
Real
we
estate-wise.
talked about this.
Yeah.
We don't normally plan anything at all, but this has been
but
not a whole lot.
Right.
But it's been a market-moving week, month, and we haven't talked a lot about real estate.
I have talked multiple times to people to just say real estate is weird. I literally had this conversation today.
But even though it's weird, what's the underlying thing that we tell people?
Now is the time to buy a house is what we tell people.
When was the best time to buy a house?
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Always.
I had a meme from a realtor today,
Oh.
and it was a baby in a
Okay.
carriage, and it said, "That's me in '88 missing the boat on buying a house."
That's so funny. You were talking earlier about someone, a 12-year-old was singing an open mic night, and I think your wife said to tip her.
Yeah.
Like, what do you tip a 12-year-old? I said, tell them to buy a house.
First of all, you ask them to have their parents add them as an authorized user to their credit report.
Yeah, there you go. So, article here says National Housing Survey. The survey says unaffordability, 86% of consumers say it's a bad time to buy a house. That's scary.
Yeah,
As a
but-
realtor, I feel that.
But here's the confusion behind that. So there's a lot of unaffordability in buying a house. So does that tell me that, gosh, it's better to pay the highest rents we've ever seen in history?
That is not in this article, but yes.
So there's so many articles and so many twists in the media that want to make you think it's better to rent.
Called clickbait.
Yeah, there was a whole story that was just on CNBC recently where I don't know her name and I don't like her, so I'm not going to say her name, but she talks about how it's better to rent than it is to buy a house. And it's like, okay, wait a minute.
Where does she live?
New York City.
Okay.
So it's better to pay my landlord's mortgage or pay for my landlord's retirement or pay my landlord's whatever than it is to invest in my future. And when I post things on Instagram, right?
I've seen some, yes.
Some of those Instagram posts have had, most of them, honestly, is the ones where I talk about renting is not as smart as buying.
Sure.
Those will get 30,000 views and 200 comments of, that's stupid to buy a house.
suck.
You pay interest.
Yeah.
Good, the first months are all interest. And I'm like, okay, let's think about it. Here's something none of us do. I don't want to say that because some of us do. Some people lease a car. But most people purchase their car.
Yep.
They buy their car, they finance it, they pay a monthly payment with interest for something that depreciates
Yes,
the
it does.
entire thing. No one ever says, I got a great deal. Oh, actually, all people say they got a great deal on their car,
Of course.
even though they just got the banana screw in at the car lot. And then they drive their car, and then they give it away, or they upside down, and they can't get rid of it. And if you go through history, the only time people were upside down on homes is when they did no money down, second mortgages, 125% loan-to-value deals. They drove themselves upside down. I bought this house in 1997. It's never been worth what it was in 1997. I've never been upside down. If I'd have rented it, I'd have already paid off the guy's mortgage. I'd have absolutely nothing, and my rent would be unaffordable.
Yep.
And that's what those markets talk about all the time.
Yep. And I actually had a conversation today with my colleague, James Fox.
Hey, James.
Hi, James.
You should be on the show sometime if you weren't a realtor.
And he said he was talking to one of his clients who said, you know what? Home prices are too high right now, so I'm just going to wait.
Wait for what? For them to be
I know.
higher?
I said, so he's going to come back to buy a house next year when it's more expensive? And I feel for the people who are struggling right now to be able to afford a house.
Affordability is a challenge, but it doesn't mean that it's going to become more affordable.
No, it does not.
Right.
And when you see misleading headlines that are out there right now about home prices coming down, in a lot of cases, not all, that means someone priced their house too high because they're trying to take advantage of the fact that we're here in Indianapolis, we're in a significant seller's market.
Right, 100%.
Months of inventory is what determines buyers versus sellers market.
And nationwide, it's not where it should be.
Correct. Nationwide. So Inventory. Thank you.
We
Inventory.
drank a lot today.
Inventory, buyers versus sellers market is 4 to 5 months of inventory would be considered balanced. So if you get over 5%, you're in a buyer's market because there's more inventory than there are buyers, so the buyers have a better chance of getting a really good deal.
Right.
If you're below the 4% mark, then you're looking at a seller's market because there's more sellers than there are buyers, and so the sellers have the advantage of being able to sort of hold out.
Right.
Here in Indianapolis, we are currently sitting under 2%. We are 1.6 to maybe 1.8 months of inventory.
Right.
So here we are with buyers who want to buy houses and a bunch of sellers who have homes to sell. Oddly enough, they're not selling.
Yeah, but buyers think it's 2018, and
Yeah.
sellers think it's 2022.
So you say sellers think it's
very true.
2021, 2022.
Yeah.
I'll just jack up the price of my house because, there aren't any buyers here. Well, let me tell you something, sellers. Buyers are dealing with 7% interest rates, and you can't just throw any price you want on your house, and you can't just sell it as is all the time because the buyers don't have the extra money to be able to fix up the house that they want.
That's so true. But there are markets where it has flipped a little bit. Florida is starting to become a little bit of a depressed market, not necessarily because the homes have been overpriced, but because their insurance has gone crazy.
Yeah, they're dealing with insurance issues.
I had a person buying a house in
Hurricanes.
Sarasota, right? So a mile from the coast, $300,000 single family.
Okay.
Homeowner's insurance at $6,500 a year. The only insurance available was the state insurance, and the flood insurance was $2,000 a year.
So $8,500.
So they bailed. It was too big of a payment. And that house has been on the market for quite a while. But think about it. Okay, is the house overpriced? No. The house is priced right for the market.
Okay.
But the person wanting to move there can't afford that insurance. I just closed on a four something in Fort Myers with $6,500 in homeowner's insurance.
Wow.
No flood insurance on that one. And then if you add the fact that condos are having a major problem in Florida because of this insurance issue, a lot of them are no longer financeable, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, because they don't carry the reserves. They don't have the insurance requirements needed because they can't afford the insurance because they can't force that on the homeowners. And starting in December, any condo over 4 stories tall has to have a whole nother inspection and what's called an environmental impact study. If you own a condo in Florida and it's more than 4 stories high, you just sell it and get out.
Wow.
Because it's going to become financeable by a local bank, a non-conforming loan, or a cash buyer.
Huh.
So that's changed the Florida market drastically.
Drastically, yeah.
And I got a realtor friend of mine from Indianapolis. He opened a new office down in North Carolina, and he made the comment, homes are on the market longer here, and the market's slowing down. It's a buyer's market. And my comment on his Facebook page today was, well, yeah, that's why more than half my buyers are $25,000 over list price. Because in our market, in the Indianapolis market, Fishers, Carmel, Zionsville, Westfield, shut up. If you're going to buy there, that list price is just an idea of what you think you could potentially pay. But it's happening there too. If you underpriced, it's going to go over list. If you overpriced, it's going to sit on the market. That's where it comes down to. You got an idea of what your house is worth. You've got this sentimental value.
Absolutely.
Right? Oh, little Johnny, he brought home the best picture from the first grade, and I put it on my refrigerator.
My house looks nicer than my neighbor's, who sold for $350,000.
Listen to your realtor.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so important, because if you could underprice your house a little bit in this market, you'll drive in more offers, and then you'll probably end up going over list. Then if you do over list, and then 2 weeks later, your realtor's telling you we need to reduce the price like I told you, just so you can get some offers.
Unfortunately, I'm finding either a home sells in the first weekend at the price you put it at,
doesn't.
Or it sits there for 30 plus days, and then you wind up dropping it multiple times, or you wind up getting offers that are significantly less, and so you're going to have to settle at something. I started real estate in 2020. When, COVID came around and things went haywire.
So it's kind of like he went into the NFL as a Patriot.
Right. That's true. Yeah. That's a very good example. So I've always been told that it's normal for real estate to be where a house you put on the market sits for 3 or 4 months until it sells. Well, I feel slowly kind of working that direction, but those of us who have been dealing with it for the last 4 years
don't know.
It feels so like, oh my gosh, when my client's house is sitting there for 30 years, I'm like, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that goes back to the post I had today on Josh Dilmagani's post. North Carolina realtor.
Yeah.
Homes are on the market.
Hi, Josh.
Get ready for this to change. It's going to be negative. And I said, Josh, look, half my pipeline right now is still over list. But look, it sounds to me like we're going to go back to 2016 to 2019, where people used to say to me, hey, we're going to go look at this house on Tuesday. I'll let you know if we like it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd go on Tuesday and they'd look at it. And I'd call them on Wednesday. How'd you like the house? It's pretty good. We're going to have to take our grandparents out. They're going to look at it on Thursday.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about it over the weekend. And then the realtor would call me on Tuesday and say, hey, I think we're going to put in an offer on this one. Could you put together a pre-approval letter for this address? And just so you know, this is the price we're coming in at. Usually 3% of the list price.
Okay.
So if you go back historically, most homes would sell within 97%, 3%.
All right, yeah.
3% under the list price of the home. That's very common, right? It's kind of like the guy you had that recently said, I found a house I like, but I'm going to list $50,000 under list price. I'm going to offer $50,000 under list.
Yeah.
And you told me that, and what did I say?
Why don't you tell him to go 75,000?
Yeah, well, 75 on their list. I mean, if you're going to do something stupid, why don't you send an offer saying, I'd like to buy your house for free?
I mean, give a little context to this. Some client who I never met, I got him as an online lead. He messages me and says he'd like to go see this house. And he says, by the way, if we like the house, we're going to offer, the number he gave me was $50,000 less than what they were asking for. And the house had just hit the market.
Yeah, and you told me about it.
I'm like, are you serious, dude?
Yeah.
And so, Brad's response was, why didn't you do 75?
I mean, if you're going to do something stupid, let's go for a win.
Just absolutely ridiculous.
Where the average house over years has always gone within, 5 to 3 to maybe 10% of list price, right?
Depends how long it's been on the market, sure.
And I always say, hey, put it in your shoes, right? You're
That's honestly always how I go at my buyers.
Empathy's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Sympathy's where you feel bad for the other person. Empathy's where you become the other person.
Right.
That's the way I've always looked at it. Hey, I got this house for sale. I've lived here for 20 years. I love my house. My kids grew up here. Little Johnny did baseball in my backyard. That means so much to me. I'm going to list my house for sale for $300,000, and you're going to offer $250,000. well, why don't you just offer 225 and kick me in the balls?
Right.
Right? Like, I've come up with a price that I want to sell my house. The realtor has looked at your house, has comped the house, has looked at the market, has determined a value of your house.
Yep.
It's like going into McDonald's and going, I'd like my Big Mac for 99 cents.
So I have some clients right now who they want to go see a house coming up in the coming days. It was kind of a weird listing because the sellers have asked for limited showings because they're about to close on the house they're already going to purchase.
Gotcha.
And they want to be able to move out and have time to do it. And so they said, all right, well, showings aren't going to start until Monday unless we can kind of arrange something otherwise.
Sure.
So
unless you send me a sight unseen above offer list price, which happens.
Yeah, right. We did not do that. So they said, well, the agent came back to me and said, well, we're going to wait until Monday. I was like, okay, cool. And my client said, so do you think, because my clients are going to wind up being a contingent offer because they have to sell their house first. I mean, it's okay.
But sometimes it's
for sure. In a competitive situation, it's not great. And so they said, do you think that makes it less likely to accept a contingent offer? And I said, well, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I mean, at this point, it doesn't look like many people have come in to see it. But when the days on market come on Monday, when we can go look at the house, it will now have been there for 7, 8, 9 days. That's not a lot.
Maybe competitive, though, at that
Correct. I said, we can offer the contingent offer. Nothing hurt there. They can always just say no. But I said, it's hard to say. But considering that it hasn't been on the market that long, there's just not a lot of wiggle room, in my opinion, because, like I said, if I'm their agent, I'm going to be like, hey, contingent offer is great, but if there's these other offers that aren't contingent, well, of course, those are better.
Right. And I've seen a lot of people get accepted contingent offers recently, but the problem is they're getting blasted in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And, so I have a customer right now that looked at a house. They got a house to sell. They got to write a contingent offer on this offer. So here's what I did. Let's get them approved with 5% down.
Okay.
Let's see if they debt ratio both houses. My customer did. Let's write a non-contingent offer with 5% down, PMI, the whole deal. Here's what a lot of people don't realize today is the 20% down interest rate is worse than the 5% down interest rate.
Okay.
Didn't used to be.
Yeah.
But now you have the protection of PMI. That's made that rate a little better, and the lenders like that, right? So now go ahead and put down 5%. Buy the house non-contingent. Now you have both mortgage payments. Now the beauty of this is you close on a house in July, no payment in August, first payment in September. Get your house listed for sale.
Yeah.
If it's priced right, it's going to sell quick. So you close on your new house in July. You don't have a payment in August, except for your current house.
Yep.
But you just sold it. Now it's going to sell in August. So now you don't have to make your August payment.
Yep.
You just got your September payment. And now you're going to walk away with this, what would have been your 25% down payment. We're going to do what's called a recast. Not a refinance. Those are expensive. We're going to recast your current loan. Your rate's going to stay the same. We're going to take this principal balance that you're going to put down. We're going to apply it to your new mortgage. We're going to lower your principal balance. We're going to take your PMI off. We're going to cast your loan out over the next 359 months as if you put down 25% or 30%, and now you got your new payment. No reason to wait if you can qualify for both. Not all people can carry both payments, and I understand that. But if you can, I don't have the down payment money. Well, let's borrow it from your retirement program. Let's borrow it from your 401k. Don't withdraw it. That causes penalties and taxes. Let's borrow it. Here's what's awesome, is when they built the 401k system, they built what's called a hardship. And a hardship would be, I can't pay my rent, I'm going to get evicted. I can't pay my mortgage, I'm going to be foreclosed on.
Okay.
I have a large medical payments that are going to cause me to go into bankruptcy or have an issue. Or I'm going to buy a house. Now, why would you say that a hardship is buying a house?
Because you can't afford both sides.
Because everybody knows that renting is just not as smart as owning. So Your 401k program recognizes buying a house and using it for a down payment in the hardship group. You can borrow from your 401k, pay it back to yourself with interest, use that to purchase your next home, sell this home, pay your portion back to your 401k, take the rest of it, recast the new payment, have a lower payment, get rid of your PMI, and buy before you sell.
That's awesome.
I do it all the time. But it's having someone to guide you through that process and having a realtor smart enough to know you're not going to get an accepted offer contingent on this house.
Yeah, and you got to price the sale of their house correct.
Absolutely. There's two things there. Yeah. One, it's having your realtor be honest with you to go, they're not accepting a contingent offer. This is a 285 in Greenwood, 4-bedroom in Center Grove. They're not going to accept a contingent offer. In fact, you probably should offer 325.
Right.
Because this one's going to sell. It has a pool. And then for them to sit down with you and honestly go, if you price it here, and I just had a customer say this, and I was so excited. They got an accepted offer on like a $600,000 house in Marion, Indiana, which is not the normal house.
Yeah, really.
They got a house in Greenwood to sell. And they really felt like it's going to sell in that 465 to 475 price range. I heard them say that. And I'm like, God, go 465. Don't go 475. Because that means your realtor said to you, it's between 465 and 75, right? So the realtor met with them and said, look, 475 is on the high side. I think you should list at 465. And that's what they did. They listened to their realtor. Boom. And now they can buy that new house. If they went, no, look, I think it'll sell for 485. You're going to lower it to 465 in 60 days, and you're going to lose the house you're going to buy because somebody else is going to come in and write an offer that's going to bust your contingent offer, your, what do they call it, first right?
Yep.
And you can't afford both. So you have to listen to the people that do this for a living.
Yeah, they do.
And I understand getting a second opinion. Like if your doctor says you have cancer, you may want to talk to another doctor.
You might.
You might not. If you talk to your modeling agent and they say, you're perfect, just listen to that guy.
Because I am.
If you're listening to your vocal instructor and you're about to get hired to do some voiceover stuff, and that guy says, oh, your voice is perfect,
ooh,
you do what that guy said.
Yeah, you do.
Right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, you know what? It's been a long enough episode.
You think so? I'm out of drink. Oh, nope. Not out of that glass.
There it is. All right. Well, hey, kids. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you being here. If you need some real estate advice, hit me up. If you need some mortgage advice, hit Brad up.
You know, really, that goes both ways, though. If you got real estate advice and you call me, I'm going to direct you to Brian.
That's a true story.
If you call Brian and it ends up being a mortgage question, he'll call. Don't worry about what your question is. Pick up the phone and ask it.
Our phone numbers are down here at the bottom. You can always leave a comment and say, could you please contact me? Because we can do that too. You don't see it. It's virtual.
Was I close?
And I'm going to throw this back to the beginning of the episode. Somewhere in this episode, there's been a change.
I'm even going to throw out a hint.
Oh?
There's been two.
Oh, two. All right.
And if you put in the comments.
All right, what do they got to do? Comments?
Put in the comment. And then
text Brad,
or put your phone number in the comment or an email, some way that we can contact you.
That's right. Believe it or not, your YouTube name does not count as a contact. And I'm going to throw this out there. Fred, you are not eligible. Sorry, Fred.
Fred's not eligible.
Sorry, Fred. We need somebody else.
Well, Fred, if you win, I'll hook you up on Father's Day.
Nice. What do they win, by the way?
A $25 gift card to the greatest retailer of all time.
Walmart?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. All right.
Walmart.
Well, Amazon gift card?
Amazon gift card for
Amazon
$25.
Gift card, $25. Comment.
So I at least need your proper email address to send it to. If more than one person gets this one, because we've been doing this for a while, and people have not won.
Nope.
Because you got to get to the end to figure it out, and most people hang up.
Must get
around the tequila
to win it. As they should.
In it to win it. That's right. Like the Dallas Mavs.
They're down 3-0.
They're in it to win it, though, right?
By the time this airs, they're out.
Like the Pacers. Yeah. I called it.
That's fine.
At any rate, $25 gift card. The two things changed among this staging bar
Right.
phenomenon.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you for watching. Brad, thanks for hosting. We'll see you next time. Happy Father's Day.
See you guys.